Damn, it's been a kind of distressing week in the fish tank community.
What happened?
I've kind of staked my reputation on being a fish tank plan truster.
Right.
But unfortunately, the last week, the plan has kind of fallen apart.
What happened?
In a way that it never has before. Well, basically, because I know last week when we recorded, that was like the day they were bringing in all the Famous House 2 people.
Right.
Where they brought in a whole new batch of people.
Yeah.
And I was actually really enjoying that.
Yeah.
Because typically on Fish Tank, it's like, you have your first couple weeks where usually more than half the people kind of self-eliminate by flaming out, and they just can't handle it and they leave. And then you get down to a few people who are mentally stable and unflappable enough that they're not going to self-eliminate. They do some challenges, somebody wins. Right. And for me at least, that portion is less entertaining than the beginning part.
Right.
So they brought in all these people, none of whom were great, some of them were okay. And it was good for a couple days. A bunch of them flamed out immediately. And then 2 or 3 days after they brought everyone in, they kind of unceremoniously booted everyone.
Okay.
And some of them were kind of funny. This one girl, she found this red crystal. They told her it was the immunity gem. And then they sent in Vance to be oh man, I really screwed up. That was actually the elimination gem, and you're going to have to leave. and they kind of did shit like that and just booted everyone out. But then they just really didn't, have anything to replace it with.
Oh.
So they kind of, lingered around the mansion for a couple days, and then they took a road trip to Las Vegas.
Oh, what?
So there was just multiple days of the stream being down for most of the day, and you know how traveling takes it out of you.
Yeah.
So it's people just sleeping in an RV, and then the cameras will go down.
Oh.
And now they're in Vegas, and it's okay, but it's kind of just if you want to find somebody streaming themselves harassing strangers on the street.
There's a black guy who's doing that already.
Yeah, that. There's nothing really that special about that.
Yeah.
And part of the voyeuristic thrill of Fish Tank is being able to jump between the cameras.
Right.
But now it's just kind of one phone or whatever. And it's I feel that I guess they felt it wasn't going well. They swung for the fences.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, they should have just kept Famous House going.
Right. That's a crazy move.
Yeah, and it's been not great the last couple days. Hopefully they'll finish strong. They got a few more days. We'll see what they come up with.
How much longer is left?
I know the last couple seasons have ended on a Sunday, so I think it's going to be this Sunday. It's maybe 4 days left.
Okay.
4 or 5.
Huh. That's a crazy move.
Yeah, it's there's always been some it's so over, we're so back dynamic to Fish Tank.
Yeah.
And there's a weird segment of the Fish Tank fan that's just total seethoid. They just complain about it all the time.
Right.
And I think we've kind of talked about it before, the gamer's dilemma.
Yes.
Which I think is you sort of love something so much that you let it completely take over your life.
Yeah.
And then at some point it hits you that's not
that great.
Actually a viable alternative to having a life.
Yes.
Which is the 5,000 hours played, it's shit.
Yeah, yeah.
That kind of stuff.
Yes.
And there's a bunch of people who just bitch and moan all the time. But yeah, I mean, it's been the worst week ever. And the beginning part of the season was great.
Yeah, it seems like it was.
Alex's fat, abusive Mexican wife showing up.
Yeah.
Maybe the best ever day on Fish Tank.
Damn.
Bert is consistently funny.
Yeah.
They brought Luke back. They didn't boot him. And he should have been there the whole time.
Right.
Because him and Bert were super funny together.
I did see a clip of
him getting Bert to use the N-word and be black urban Republican thug for a day was so good. And he is the perfect avatar for the Fish Tank fan.
Right.
Because he's a cool, handsome guy who's cool enough to go on Big Brother, but based enough to get kicked off for saying the N-word.
Yeah.
So he's kind of the ideal avatar for the Fish Tank fan.
Right, literally me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And him and Bert have great chemistry together.
Yeah, I saw a clip of them where he was talking to Bert and he said something to Bert, and then Bert was like, "I'm sorry, I thought you wanted to." They were alone in a room, and then Bert was like, "I'm sorry, I thought you wanted to come up here so that we could hook up. And then Luke goes, man, what the fuck is wrong with you?
And Bert's so perfect. There was one point, like, before they left the mansion.
Sorry to just be that deep into the show and still think
yeah,
guys are trying to fuck
even
you,
a couple days ago in the RV, somebody asked, I think it was Vance behind the camera, like, are we live? And Vance is like, yeah, we're live. And Bert was like, did you just say you love me? I think he has an issue with, like, auditory processing.
What?
Because, like, I think when there's a lot of noise going on, he really gets like, like, wait, you want to have sex with me? Yeah. What? You're gay with me? What? You love me? But there was a part before when I forget the exact context, but Luke was kind of like, oh yeah, I guess you're part of the LGBTP community. And Bert was like, what's that? That's not the acronym. And he's like, yeah, LGBTP. And he's like, well, what's the P stand for? He's like, pedophile. And he just, like, sets up everything, like, slow pitch right down the center,
That's really good.
So I hope they can pull it together.
Yeah.
But I think they should have just kept Famous House going and stayed in the mansion.
Right.
Because Famous House, I liked it.
Yeah.
They had Turbo.
Who's that?
Who's this kind of, like, dead-eyed chick who came out, had done, like, hardcore porn. But she was cool.
Her name's Turbo?
Turbo.
That's crazy.
And she I think, would have been a decent competitor, actually.
Well, yeah, probably.
She, like, figured out that if you can just avoid freaking the fuck out, that's, like, half the battle.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And there's this 60-year-old black woman named Star. It's really funny.
Damn. Nice.
And, like, it was good. They had this Mormon dude, Kevin, and they did the baby challenge where they have to, like, take care of it. They've done it in the past.
Yeah.
And they linked, boy, girl, except they put Kevin and Bert together. And Bert insisted on calling, he'd knock on the door because they're sharing a door. He's like, Daddy Kevin, it's Daddy Bert here. And honestly, just, like, having new people come in and just having, like, Bert hit on guys. You could have filled a week. It's really so funny.
I hope he gets a lot of, like, acting work out of this.
I mean, he's the guy, like, I'm not sure if he would be, like, funny in most contexts.
But if you can...
In Fishtank, he's, like, the world's funniest guy.
Everything I hear about him is, like, crying funny.
They're, like, 5 weeks in. He still believes anything anybody tells him. He believes everything the TTS says. So awesome. He never knows what the fuck's going on. And he's sort of got that aura. It's very different than Trump, but you know how, like, Trump, any picture he's in, he kind of, like, changes it?
It's a picture of him.
Yeah, and Bert it's not quite the same way, but they have all these pictures where it's just, like, some shit going on, and then Bert just looking, like, confused and horrified in the background.
In, like, gay stance.
It's weird. And Luke keeps calling him gay, and he's always like, I'm bisexual, you idiot. Except he's fallen in love with every single guy who's come through the house and hasn't paid any attention to any of the women, but he insists that he's bisexual. Like, he's so fucking good.
That's so awesome.
Like, overall, this season's been great. It's just, I don't think the Vegas trip has worked so far. Maybe they'll pull something out from it.
Yeah.
But
it's a big swing. Sometimes they don't land.
Yeah, and I think, like, the first, like, month and a bit were probably the best it's ever been.
It seems like it, yeah.
But
damn.
Yeah, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Seems overall still like a cool project.
And now, like, I think they're sort of figuring out the tech side of things.
Yeah.
So hopefully they can actually, like, keep the stream, like, online.
Right.
I think they're trying to get a Starlink.
Oh, hell yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. It's been, like, a rough couple days. Like, the travel shit was not good.
Yeah.
But, like, people are really freaking out about it.
Well, it's also it's fucking crazy to do a live show 24/7 for over a month.
Yeah.
There's going to be you're going to try shit.
Well, and this is, like, the third season. So they've done, like, would be 3 months, like 4 months of this show.
Yeah.
And there's been, like, a flub.
Yeah, that's pretty pretty fair.
I thought season 1 and 2 were great.
Yeah.
So, they got some leeway.
I think so. Yeah. It's not like the whole show has been that. If it was that, then I'd be like, okay, I can understand.
Yeah, I guess they just felt things weren't working. I don't really know why they, like, ditched Famous House 2 the way they did.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, fuck, like, shit happens.
Yeah, it is what it is.
And it still is pretty funny. Like, yesterday they had, they were all up for a little bit, and they had, like, a begging for money in Las Vegas challenge.
Nice.
So, like, Bert asking random people for money on the street, pretty funny.
That's pretty good, yeah. Yeah, like, of course.
And, like, Bert and Luke together, like... have a kind of rare ability to just like you just have them together and like funny shit will come out of it.
Yeah,
just because their personalities are just this sort of
perfect opposites.
Oil and water, yin yang thing.
Yeah.
And so we'll see. I'm hoping they got a few days left.
Yeah.
I'm hoping probably by the next time we record it'll be over.
Yeah.
And hopefully they have a good strong finish.
Yes.
And they had what sort of, maybe if people are too pissed off, they should just think of this as the canon ending. They had the gold Bert arc right before they left.
Right, I've seen the pictures.
They painted him gold and gave him all this like gold shit and just had him like standing, a little trophy, his music playing.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well.
But anyway, that's Fishtank. I don't know, week 5 or...
Whatever.
6 or whatever. I'll look it up and it'll be in the title maybe or something. Who cares? Whatever.
Anyway, peace.